what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to review the new Victoria Beckham Beauty Rejuvenating, not moisturizing primer, because apparently that one is gone, but the Illuminator is next, and she just launched 3 new shades. I got all of the shades. Yes, it was expensive. Yes, I am able to afford the 3 shades purely because you guys have been using my affiliate links from the previous videos, and because of that I'm able to get multiple shades for review. If I wasn't reviewing this, I would not have gotten 3 shades, but I thought for the sake of this review, and since it's such an expensive product, let's just go ahead and buy all 3. Now the full name is the Cell Rejuvenating Illuminator with TFC 8. If we see TFC 8, we know it's going to be an Augustinus Bader collab, which is always super expensive. I always start with the details first. The details, first of all, I did not see this coming. I actually really like my priming moisturizer. I still have mine. So I have a little 15 ml little bottle. I usually got the 30 ml one. So it used to be like 15 ml, 30 ml, and I believe 50 ml. Did not think that this one was going to be replaced, but seems to be replaced. I don't see this on the website anymore. And now you're gonna have the Illuminator. 15 ml in the previous version. Now we can only buy 20 ml as the smallest version, and it was like 88 euros without the referral code of 20% off, which is crazy. So I actually think that they hiked up the price again. I didn't think it needed a rebranding or a redoing. I actually really like the priming moisturizer, but here we are. The first thing off the bat I want to say is that the previous one says it has a 6-month shelf life, whereas the newer one has a 12-month shelf life. So that is already a change. 6 months is very short, 12 months much better. The packaging also changed. Now they have this really great, like, strong magnet. So actually the packaging has improved, like it's an upgrade, because it used to be like just a very tight snug fit. I didn't think the packaging needed an upgrade. It's much heavier, it is prettier, but like also not too different, you know what I mean? So it is a packaging upgrade. You get like 5 ml more, but you're gonna pay a lot for it as well. I know you guys sometimes hate it when I read off the website, but I think it is necessary because the way I want to review this is also taking into account what they say the description is like. So this is a lightweight skincare / makeup item for priming the face, but giving you a radiant face, so you can also use it on its own. Moisture lock in here, filter-like tones. It is cruelty-free. It is dermatologist-tested, fragrance-free, silicone-free, gluten-free, talc-free, soy-free, alcohol-free, vegan. And it says it's for the face, neck, and décolleté, which is what I did as well. And it's important to see some of the key ingredients, which of course is the TFC8 from Augustinus Bader. It has the black tea ferment, which reduces dullness and texture. It has squalane, which is a sugar-based molecule that hydrates and locks in moisture. Niacinamide, which I like. It's a vitamin B3. Should smooth fine lines and wrinkles. It has hyaluronic acid. You know, this is again for moisture absorption. You see this in like literally every single product right now. It's such a hype. It also has luminescent plant extract, which is just radiance. There's just radiance in here. So it is clearly marketed as a skincare item, but you can use it as a makeup item as well. 3 shades are going to be Pearlescent, which is a universal light reflecting natural glow. You got Rose, which is a universal rosy pink glow, and universal warm bronze glow, which is the golden one. The golden one I'm going to compare to my old version. And the cheapest version is 88 euros, and the 50 ml is 166 euros. And you can get a subscription if you want to do it cheaper. Okay, it's expensive. So I'm just gonna go off the bat here. It's expensive. It's not gonna be for everyone. And if you see the price and you already know this is not gonna be for you, I get it. Notice that all the shades are going to be called universal. So they have meant to create these shades for all skin types, skin tones. So I got the packaging because I wanted to see where it was manufactured. It says it's made in the US from imported ingredients. So there's definitely a change in their formulation, and it's interesting to see the change in formulation. But before we do the change in formulation, let's show you guys Pearlescent. So this is a universal pearl shade, and what I'm expecting is my skin to look better over time. And of course, have it look like a beautiful, like either makeup primer, glowy base. Like I want glass skin when I use this. So I used the back camera this time to showcase what this looks like. And I did one half before I did my full face to see if there was a difference between like the half that had the primer or this illuminator on and the other half. Skincare, especially the skincare that I use, I do like a good glass skin type of skincare routine. I already have such radiance, so this actually added very little radiance to it, but there was a radiance added to it. It was just very small, very minute. There were some filtered effects, but it was very little. I didn't expect a lot from the Pearl shade because it typically doesn't really have a shade at all. This is definitely a universal shade. Everybody can use it. It's not going to leave a white cast. That's also why I wanted to start with the Pearlescent shade, because as much as it is a pretty illuminator, I knew I wasn't gonna add any color. Of course, you'll see at the end, I put it all over the face, and that's kind of what it looks like. It just looks like I'm having a very like good, healthy skin day. But I admit that with a bit of skincare, especially if you're using like Beauty, for example, you're gonna get a very similar effect. So I wasn't too impressed with this one, but it is a very universal shade. The one I was probably most excited for is the next one, which is the rose-colored one. And the reason I was most excited for this one is because they previously didn't have a rose-colored illuminator moisturizing primer situation. They had the universal pearl and they had the golden, and I always opted for the golden. But this rose shade was a new shade for me, and the pictures online were very, like, I want to say they got me pretty excited. What I was hoping for was potentially getting a little bit of a rosy glow, maybe some brightening effect, because some of the rose tints can actually brighten up your skin. But I definitely expected some type of coloring. So again, I put this on one side of the face first, and then I compared it to a bare skin. I did clean my skin beforehand. And here you'll see a little bit of radiance, potentially a tiny little bit of rose coloring. But honestly, I again was a little bit disappointed because I didn't actually see much. I didn't see much change. I think if you are even darker and deeper in skin tone, I'm definitely not sure if you're gonna see any change at all, but it's gonna give you a very beautiful luminescence. And again, it has those kind of firm-like qualities to it where it almost filters the skin a tiny bit. So it is very pretty on its own, but I guess I expected a little bit more of the color. I ended up putting it all over the face. It does look very pretty, but I didn't actually feel that rosy tone essence. I didn't feel like it brightened my skin too much. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below if you saw from the footage if there was any kind of difference, because I was kind of struggling seeing a difference. But of course, we then had the final one, which is of course the golden one. And you know, the golden moisturizing primer, the Cell Rejuvenating moisturizing primer in golden was always my favorite. So I had to do a side-by-side comparison, because although I wanted to put the newer one all over the face like I did with the first two primers, I just needed to know, is it different? So currently I have two sides done. On this side we have the old primer, and on this side we have the new primer. And the first difference that I saw was actually the texture. It is a little bit different. The newer texture is a little bit more water-based, I feel, like definitely more of a water cream. There was nothing wrong with the original texture. It was, you know, oily girl friendly in my opinion. And it wasn't a thick cream either, but it's definitely thicker than the newer texture, and it spreads out less easily than the newer texture. So this newer version, the Illuminator, spreads out much better. It is a water cream. It's so lightweight, seeps into the skin right away. In comparison, it actually takes a bit longer for the original one to seep into the skin. In terms of illuminating, I actually feel like they're very similar, like in color, but also in sunlight. Both of them have, you know, very slight little bit of mica to it. I think that maybe the older version sparkles a little bit more. I think the biggest difference is that, again, with the new version, even though this is the bronze version, I was expecting a bit of a bronzy face, but the bronze tint that the original one gave me, I don't actually see it reflected in this newer side. So the original version, so this one is on this side, was already very faint. It was like the perfect no makeup go-to thing for the winter time for me, because it was barely visible. Like any bronzing, any golden flush, it was barely visible. And right now they've kind of erased it. Like I put this on this side of the face, and honestly, I actually, again, I had a hard time finding it. I had a hard time feeling it. I had a hard time seeing a difference. It's great that you have these 3 colors, but I'm gonna be honest, I didn't see much difference. So I had to dig a little bit deeper, and this is why I added some makeup on top of it. I went in with all my Victoria Beckham Beauty products, so you'll see in the description below which other products I put on top of it. And this is kind of the side by side. I've been wearing it for quite some time, but here you'll see the difference. In the older version versus the new, they're almost the same. I think the only thing that is a little bit different is the filter-like effect, especially in the beginning, was way more for the newer version, but the bronze or the golden flush-like effect was way more in the older version. And I do miss the bronze. I feel like they could have amped up a little bit of the pigment of the bronze and the rose tones, because in my demo, I don't know if you can tell, but I can barely see anything on this side. So in terms of color, if you're buying this for the color, honestly, it's a bit of a dud for me. I don't like, it just doesn't really do much for me. And in terms of like glowy flush, I have some other ones like the Chantecaille or You Beauty that basically do the glass skin effect much better. It is very beautiful. It is very subtle. So there is probably going to be a customer that likes it. You have to also like the Augustinus Bader magic that's in here and the other ingredients, so the blend of it all. But at this price tag, I'm just surprised. Like, I am just a little bit baffled, and my expectations were like way high at this price tag. Now, is it pretty? Yes, it has a bit of a filter-like effect. It does give you a bit of a glow, and I do feel pretty. I use it as my kind of like my foundation, and I still think that my skin looks beautiful. Did I think it needed a rebranding and an upgrade? Not really, but maybe for the shelf life, that seems to be good. I don't know what to say about this. I'm a little underwhelmed, is maybe what I'm trying to say. And that is because it's not giving. It's a beautiful glow. It's a bit of a filter. I'm still gonna use it, but it simply doesn't exceed my expectations of a rebranding of this. The golden ones are very similar, so if you're desperate to try the new golden Illuminator formulation, then I would say give it a try. At the same time, I am missing the bronzy glow that it gave me. It does wear well, so both sides wear well. Both sides feel very similar. I want to say they both seeped into the skin really well. I do think that the shades are universal because they're kind of non-existent, and I think that if you have oily or dry skin, you're probably gonna like the texture of this. I simply don't know if this is worth the money. I'm gonna sign off here. I hope you guys thought this was helpful. I actually do feel like I just showed you my face, my bare face for like 20 minutes straight. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I wish I had better news. It is what it is. You know, not everything is gonna be the bomb. Even from my favorite brands, not everything is going to be a complete win. And I think this one was a little unnecessary. So yeah, that's my final say. If you are interested in buying, please use some of the affiliates down below, because the more times you guys use my affiliates, the more reviews I can do. I am going to review the latest Lisa Aldridge as well, so that is coming up as well. I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you like Victoria Beckham Beauty. Check out my Victoria Beckham Beauty playlist as well. If you have any questions regarding this launch, please use the comment section down below. I'm still a small creator, so I can still reply back to everyone. And I hope you guys have a beautiful, happy, and healthy day. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.